Hey, good morning, and welcome to another Monday mortgage update. Monday mortgage update. Hope you had a good weekend. Another good week coming up. Get ready for the snow if you are in the Chicagoland area. Coming up on Tuesday. Topics today, thanks to you, that were requested, is the cost of your lumber. Is it a good time to construct a house, given the cost of lumber going up? We'll get into that. What is a PIW? Rate watch, turn times on purchase and refinance loans, and just all kinds of fun stuff. All right, lumber is rising. The cost of a sheet of plywood this time last year was $35.78. The cost for that same sheet of plywood today, $94.65. That brings the question, Lisa Keating, Century 21, how are you, my dear? Oh, people do ask me, how come I don't say hi if they're watching? I don't know if you're watching unless you put something in the bottom. That was just a question I was asked. So anyway, the cost of lumber is rising. Is this a good time to buy a house? With all of the remodeling going on, with people now working from home, remodeling their homes, possibly looking for a new construction loan from ground up, it's really up to you. I know everything's up to you, but with that price of lumber pretty much tripling in the last year, are you overbuilding? Doug Carpenter, good morning. How are you, my friend? Hope you are well. The price of lumber tripling in a year. Are you overbuilding is a question. The house may appraise out just because values are up right now and houses of what's on the market is selling. But when things settle down and lumber goes back to 40 bucks a sheet, will your house appraise out? Will you be upside down? It's a question you really need to chat with your builder about, because the builders need to pick it up. A lot of these stores are out of lumber, so obviously it's a supply and demand. But if you are in the midst of doing a construction loan and you locked in fees with your builder 2-3 months ago, you may want to have that conversation with your builder that they cannot adjust fees, because if you're paying them 50 bucks for lumber and they're buying it for 90, it doesn't make sense. So just something to think about. Construction loans are awesome. Very nice product. You build your dream home. But with the way the market is kind of up in the air, you might want to have that conversation with your builder. Rate watch. And again, I don't sell rates. I sell service. I sell this wonderful company, and I sell the fantastic operations department. But it's kind of funny because the rates have gone down. We talked about, if you want to follow the rates, a rough estimate is to follow the 10-year Treasury. I think it was down below 1.6 on Friday. So when that goes down, rates usually goes down. With the market in volatility, a lot of people are taking their money out of the stock market, putting it in what they call safety, into the bonds. So the more money into bonds, that 10-year Treasury will go down. The more it goes down, the better it affects your rates. If you are locked in elsewhere, I don't know why you would be, get with your lender and ask if they have a renegotiation policy or a float down policy. We have the float down policy. I've talked about it before. But if you were locked in, say about a week or 2 weeks ago, you might be at 3.5 on a 30. You might be really close to 3 today or in the next coming days. So it's tough. Don't pay attention to that internet that the kids talk about. Find yourself a trusted advisor. That's me. I was looking this morning before jumping on, and it's kind of funny. The Karen Parent, how are you? Good morning. A lot of realtors on today. Anyway, don't trust the internet. And the reason I'm saying that is I Googled some stuff to bring up today, and 2 quotes on the same website said, one was rates increased slows down volume. The next quote was weekly mortgage applications increase as rates drop. These are literally right next to one another on a mortgage website. So call me. I will tell you about rates. But again, if you're locked in and you're closing soon, or not even closing soon, get with your lender, see if they'll renegotiate or float down, because rates have dropped significantly in the last couple of weeks. So go and do that. What is a PIW? It's a property inspection waiver. What we do here on the lending side is we put all the client's information into the system, the loan operations system. We run everything through, and then we run it through, take notes. It's called AUS, Automated Underwriting System. This is where your pre-approvals are key, that we can knock out in 15 minutes. If we run that through Automated Underwriting System with Fannie and Freddie, all your clients' information, Melissa Lively. Yes, they have dropped rates. Woot woot. Sounds much better coming from you, Melissa. We run it through automated underwriting. That automated underwriting system will give us an underwriting answer. It will give us an underwriting answer if everything that we put in is true. So if your borrower gives us the correct information, we can pretty much guarantee that loan is going to be approved with a few exceptions. One of the items on there is a PIW. If that says yes, that means your borrower does not need an appraisal. I've seen several come through on purchases. Some people don't want to take advantage of them just because they want to make sure what they're buying is what it's worth. Totally understandable. Saves the borrower $400 or $500. So that does lower the closing costs. What it also does do is speed up the time for underwriting, which transitions into another question a borrower had. What is the turn time I can expect on my file? I know we've talked about this before, but obviously that person wasn't listening, so we'll resume. I always tell people the turn time on your file is dependent on a clean file that you give me. I'm going to ask you for a list of documents. If you forget one, it's going to delay the time in underwriting. We do not send it to underwriting until it's clear. I'll give you an example. I had a loan on last week. Came in on Wednesday. It's a purchase loan. He needs to close on the 31st. We're talking 2 weeks and a day, which could be impossible. Very clean borrower, gave me absolutely everything I needed, and we ran it through and it gave a property inspection waiver. Most likely, we were going to be able to close this borrower on a purchase in 2 weeks. Now, I don't guarantee that because we like 30 to 45 days in case there's any bumps in the road, but he received a property inspection waiver. Again, what that's going to do is that's going to take a couple weeks off of the turn time because that is something we are not in control over. We order the appraisal. Appraiser's very speedy. He does it. It comes back. That has to go to underwriting. With the appraisal not being needed, it doesn't need to go back to underwriting. So again, it cuts a little bit or a lot of time off of the mortgage process. But again, when I'm asked what is my turn time expected, I always say you need to have everything into me that I ask for. And it really is basic information. Applications are clean. We had several pre-approvals go live this weekend. What that means is you have your pre-approval in hand. It says, hey, I can buy this house. I got that automated underwriting accept on my letter. You give it, realtor puts in the offer, we're good to go. So several of those came through this weekend. So you guys are working hard. Year over year purchases down 12%. There's a couple of reasons for that. We are looking for the first-time home buyers. They are supposed to run the market this year. There's a few problems with them coming to market. One is unemployment rates. Some of them aren't working. Makes it difficult to get a mortgage. Two is student loans are out there. So you're seeing first-time home buyers come out, not as many as they had anticipated. That's why year over year home purchase is down 12%. Another reason, there's not a lot on the market. What you're also seeing is jumbo rates. There's a difference in jumbo and conventional. A jumbo mortgage is any mortgage over $548,250. It's kind of inverse. In most cases, jumbo rates are lower than conventional, which is completely unheard of. Jumbo rates are lower in most cases than conventional. Again, a jumbo mortgage is $548,250 and above. Now you ask why? Well, I'm going to answer you. Because generally, jumbo mortgage rates are not first-time home buyers. The jumbo mortgage buyer is somewhat seasoned, generally employed, so not worried about the unemployment rate, and also has little to no student loan debt. So you have kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum. You have the conventional buyer who's normally first-time home buyers, who's heavily loaded with student debt and possibly unemployed. You have the jumbo home buyer who most likely will not have student loans, probably a career they've been in for a while and are not self-employed. So you're seeing the jumbo loan below 3 on certain borrowers that were locked last week. You're seeing conventional still phenomenal. More good news. About 10 million homeowners are underwater. What does that mean? That means you owe more on your house than it's worth. So you're kind of in a situation where you're just paying on negative equity, which is not a problem because investment is in the bricks. Eventually that's going to turn, but that was kind of an interesting number. 10 million homeowners are underwater. So cost of wood going up. Be careful. Talk to your builder. Don't trust the internet. Call me because you're going to get conflicting stories. You may see a killer rate out there from a lender. You're going to call that lender. It's going to have points involved in it. We talked about points last week. So Be wary when you're calling a lender you don't know. And again, if you're working with a lender and not me, again, I don't know why, I'll be more than glad to look at your paper to make sure they're putting you down the right track. Property inspection waivers, doable, speeds up the time in underwriting, and saves you a couple of bucks. Purchase market's down about 12%. Things are good. It's going to be a good week. I think it's going to be a very volatile week, so keep an eye on that 10-year treasury and have yourself a wonderful week. Let me